Hello and welcome to the course on C Programming Learn to Code series. This is the 10th lecture of Unit 2 and in this lecture we will continue our discussion on C tokens. This particular lecture is dedicated to the discussion of data types. So let's begin. We are using different type of data like integers, float and characters. Okay, so what is an integer data? So the integer data is something like where the number does not have any decimal point, like 5 is an integer, 6 is an integer, minus 7 is an integer, or 35 is an integer. So these are the integer type of data. We are also using different type of float data. Float means any number which is consisting of a decimal point. Let's say I say 7.39. So this is a floating point number. We also use some characters like A, B, C. So those are the characters. So we come across different type of data in our day-to-day use. And also in the last class we learn about how to allocate memory for a variable. Okay. So what we have learned in the last class? In the last class we talked about how to declare a space for a variable. So we know that a variable is a named memory location, means some space is allocated and we are giving a name to that allocated space, and that particular space will be used to store some data into it. So mainly when we want to store the data to a particular space where we want to store the data, the one question it should be come into our mind is how much memory we should allocate to store a data. So why the question is, because as we are using different type of data like integer, float, character, so do you think that all these data uses the same amount of memory location? Means they uses means when we want to store this type of data, they take same amount of memory location? No, every data needs a different amount of memory location. So that's why we have to ask a question, how much memory we should allocate to store a data. Okay, so indirectly we can say that depends upon which type of data you are using to solve your problem. Okay, suppose we are using, for an example, we are about to solve a problem that is called addition of two number. So if it is addition of two integer number, then the allocation for two integer number should be there. But if it is an addition of two floating point number generally takes more space than an integer. So we need to allocate more space for that. That is why before we allocate memory for a variable, we need to know what kind of data we are going to store in that place. Okay, so this is the necessary steps. So as whatever we have discussed here, so from the discussion above, we found that what we have found, whenever we declare a variable, we also specify its data type. So that means declaration of variable is cannot be done alone. We should also specify what type of data we are about to store in that particular variable. Then only the compiler allocates the required amount of space in the memory. So finally we can conclude that from the discussion we conclude that what exactly a data type do? A data type tells two things about the entire statement. The first is type of data a variable is going to store and the amount of memory allocated for storing that particular data. Okay, so that means the declaration is generally takes the form something like this. We have to declare a variable in the form like data type. We have to first write the data type, then we have to declare the variable name. Okay, this is how a variable is actually declared. So what does the data type specifies? As I have already told you, data type specifies what type of data the variable is going to store. So this variable, what type of data he is going to store. So after knowing that which type of data it is going to store, it will allocate the required amount of memory, right? So this is how a variable is actually declared along with the data type. Now there are several data type defined by or supported by your C programming language. Those are categorized into three different groups. One is called the primary data type, second one is called the derived data type, and third one is called the user defined data type. Okay, so for this particular module, or for this unit 2, in the unit 2 part, we will only concentrate on the primary data types. Okay, so that includes your character, integer, float, double, and void. Okay, so character means character type of data, integer means your integer type of data that I have already discussed, where the number is actually whole number. That means there will be no decimal point involved in it. But floating point and double, that is your float and double data type, requires a decimal point in between the numbers. And void is another data type that will specify, though it is not used for declaring any variable, but it specifies the return type of some functions. So what is that void and how it is specifying the return type, we will discuss in the subsequent classes. Okay, so the main focus is on primary data type. Okay, and the remaining, that is your derived data type and your user defined data type, will be discussed subsequently whenever there is a need. So from the next class onwards, what I will do is I will discuss about all these primary data types that is there in the list one by one, and we will discuss the entire thing about each particular data type. If I am going to continue the lecture, then it will be a the video will be much more longer, so which cannot be continued. So individual data type need to be discussed properly. That's why from the next class onwards, we will discuss each of these primary data type individually, and we will see the technique involved in this discussion. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.